The Gambia Port Authority said on Tuesday that ferry services between Banjul and Bara will be suspended for a month. This service disruption is as a result of the planned installation of new landing bridges at the Banjul and Bara ferry terminals. The authority said in a press release, the current ferry landers are 43 years old and considered unsafe for continuous use. Sea travelers between the Gambian capital and the North Bank region, a 7-mile waterway, is to be halted effective Wednesday, the 21st of October. That's today. Now, ferry services will only resume on the 20th of November. The ferry services have in the past battled with old landers and ramps, leading to numerous accidents which sometimes claim lives. Authorities say in order to avert the continuous occurrence of such preventable disasters, the management of the Gambia Ports Authority ferry services designed to possess new landers. Now, the Gambia Ports Authority said truckers should use the Senegambia Bridge via the South Bank as an alternative route. In September 2020, a Senegalese truck had its chassis slip while entering the ferry, resulting in many of the truck's goods falling into the sea. Now, joining us on the line is Lamin Sanyan, the Public Relations Officer of GPA, that's Gambia Ports Authority. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Sanyan, for joining us this morning. Now, after a long wait and struggle, how significant is this renovation to the ferry services?
Yeah, thank you very much, Eyeafrica, for having me on your program, and I want to thank you and all the listeners out there. It's very important, like you asked, the relation to the new landers that we want to install at Banjul and Bara. Remember, this is a decision that has been taken by the management of the Gambia Ports Authority ferry services for the easy transportation of people to and fro Banjul and Bara. These landers are built by the Damen Shipyard. Remember, Damen Shipyard is a company based in Holland. They are the company that are based on building of vessels and the like. They are the very company that also built Kunta Kinte, that the new ferry that we commissioned in 2017. So the same company has been engaged by the management to build a new landers for the Banjul and Bara, and these new landers were there since 1977, and they were last rehabilitated in 2007. So you realize that the landers are due for change, and therefore management wastes no time but to procure new landers that will be replaced, with the old ones at the Banjul Bara landing site. This is the development that we have, and that is why since last August, management tried to inform the public with relation to the installation of the new landers, but due to the surge of COVID-19, we were not able to, continue with the job, but hold it because the experts who should have come and position or install the new landers are traveling all the way from Holland. So recently, as I speak, since on the 7th of October, these experts already arrived in Banjul and they are on their work. What they were previously doing was to assemble the landers from both sides. They assembled first the Banjul landers, to see which, material will be positioned at what point. That is what they were doing since on the 7th of October, and they were done with Banjul sites, and now they moved to the Bara site, trying to assemble those ones, and that one is almost completed. So that is why management also informed the public that starting on the 21st of October, that is today, on Wednesday, operation will cease with Banjul and Bara because we are going to install these new landers because we cannot do it, tentatively with the operations. So the operation will, should hold while the new landers will be installed for the public good.
All right, now talking about the old landers, so of course they have spent more than 30 years in service. Now, PRO, why it took such a long time to get new landers and ramps, considering the hardship people go through when crossing, through the ferries between Banjul and Bara?
Yeah, it's a very valid question. Looking at it, remember, these landers were there since the colonial time, and the management, what they used to do is that they used to change the parts by replacing them with new ones. You know, parts payment, part changes are the one they used to be doing in the past. But depending on management to management, will decide what next can we do. So what I can confirm is that this management that we have recently decided to procure new ones instead of replacing parts, that used to be done in the past, like buying new plates to replace old ones. That one they decided to graduate from that now to replace everything brand new, to make sure that everything that will be there at the ramps, in terms of operations, because Banjul Bara is a highly demanded crossing point. The present management we have decided to buy new landers and to replace with the old ones. I think that is a step in the right direction, and it is a management decision.
Okay. Again, as we speak, of course, you have decided to stop the services of the ferries as we speak, effective today. But many would have said the ports management could have found an avenue, an alternative to allow services to continue, or the operations to continue, whilst you move the landers to another site than exactly putting it where it was before.
Yeah, that one is also very, very important, because remember, Banjul and Bara, landers there's very specific areas that have been identified based on feasibility study. So trying to, identify, remember, siltation is one of the biggest problems of these two areas. So repositioning, of the landers to another area has a lot of implications, in terms of siltation, because you realize that this is a river, and there is high tide, low tide, time to time. These are issues that we face as a challenge in terms of operations. So what has happened is that management have decided to engage different, dredging companies, in terms of sectional dredgers, to be able to dredge these particular areas where we are coming to install the new landers, to have a sustainable landing site, instead of repositioning ourselves to another area which might not work. By the way, management also realized that, closing the Banjul Bara ferry site, is going to bring a lot of concerns to the public in terms of transport. So what we did is to engage stakeholders, that are involved into the transport system, particularly when it comes to the crossing in Banjul and Bara. You realize that we have these canoe owners who also used to do transportation, in tandem with the ferry operation, because they also continue taking, passengers on their own.
Talking about that, Piero, if I may come in, I just wanted to say, talking about, of course, the canoes and all that, in your statement, you advised drivers to use the Senegambia bridge, or maybe the Trans-Gambia, way. Now, what plans or alternatives are you putting in place to support people who mainly rely on the ferries to cross, especially those from the North Bank?
Yes, that is the area I'm trying to clarify. Remember, we have a mandate as an institution. Our mandate is to ensure that the ferries are in good condition to operate, and we have safe and reliable ferry crossing for our people. But in this situation, since the ferry is going to stop, what management decided to do is to engage. For the past 2 months, we have been in dialogue with the stakeholders, and these stakeholders include Gambia Maritime Administration, Gambia Fire and Rescue Services, you have the Gambia Navy, and including the canoe operators, so that we look at find a solution to this crossing, because they will be the one to do this crossing of people. So what the management of the Gambia Ports Authority did is to supply them with safety gears, and this includes life jackets. We supply them 200 plus life jackets, so that they will be giving it to the customers or their own customers there who will be flying. That is, each and every individual who's to board a particular canoe must put on a life jacket, and also they are trying to identify a landing site where people will be standing on to board a canoe. So these are a very important safety, steps that the institution is looking up to in collaboration with the stakeholders. The Gambian Navy also will be there to monitor how many people are boarding a particular canoe in terms of capacity. The Gambia Fire and Rescue Services also will be there to monitor the situation for any emergency response. So these are the things that we do. But for us as an institution, our mandate is to focus on the ferry operations across the country, and this is where we start. But as far as our customers are concerned, we can only help in trying to suggest to them, those with the trucks or vehicles can use Trans-Gambia, because at Trans-Gambia there is a bridge, which is there for 24-hour operations. But for the people who are in the Newmis, who are going to board these canoes,
thank you very much.
Support by helping them with safety gears and the like.
All right, thank you very much, Piaro Lamin Sanyan there of the Gambia Ports Authority. Thank you very much for your time and for
Africa for having me.
All right, thank you very much. That was Lamin Sanyan, the PR of the Gambia Ports Authority, trying to tell us some of the plans and the necessities that led to the prompt decision of course of stopping the ferry services, and of course to began the renovation of the ferry terminals after the management bought new landers and ramps for improve the services of the ferries between Banjul and Bara. Now we're going to stay in this matter because in a moment we are going to speak to the PRO of the Gambia Fire and Rescue Services, who are also helping to coordinate. You heard him mention about the Fire and Rescue Service, and also the Gambia Navy coordinate with the canoes owners or the boats owners about this whole process at the moment. Now, PRO of the Gambia Fire and Rescue Services, Pati Jiba, is also on the line. Good morning, PRO, and thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Now, how about yourself? Well, thank you for joining us. We just want to know, of course, at what level are you in trying to help the coordination of helping the people to cross between Banjul and Bara, knowing already that the ferry services are going to stop today, as we heard from the Gambia Port Authority. And talking about safety, you should have a very important role to play in this, I guess.
Okay.
Yes, Piaro, can you hear me?
Yeah, the line is not very clear, please.
All right, I may come back to the question again if you don't mind. I was just asking, as we were, talking about the ferry services, of course, are going to be halted for a period of 1 month, and of course, yes, people are still going to continue to cross between Banjul and Bara, and expectedly using the canoes or the boats. Now, we are asking for the purpose of safety. At what level are you in terms to help coordinate between you and your sister institution, maybe the Gambian Navy, to help people safely cross between Banjul and Bara?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that wonderful piece of question this early morning.
Yes.
I will be so happy and delighted to tell you that the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service, in collaboration not only with the naval officers, but of course many other institutions and stakeholders that will play their quota towards safety, are very well prepared towards whatever may happen at sea. But speaking on behalf of the fire department, I would therefore choose to tell you that we already have a team of experts that are situated at the seaside around the extreme end of Bara, that are responsible of making sure that any boat that is supposed to use the river is checked, and it is supposed to be carrying all the equipment that will be helping the people in case of any eventuality. For example, life jackets have been looked at, and the coordination is on and is in place. Secondly, boats that are registered, those boats that can fly the sea, are boats that we've already identified that can be used to do the services of the people. And if somebody is supposed to be carrying goods, you are only supposed to carry goods and not to mix goods and human beings, because it could be devastating when there is an emergency situation at the seaside. These are some of the preparedness on the ground with regards to our men. And the other thing is, having seen that we have no ferry plying the river at this moment, our men will be supported by ourselves, because the dinghy that we have at the Bara end can do the job of transporting the firefighters, rescue officers from Bara to Banjul and from Banjul to Bara on their daily routines. Because it's very important. They are the ones that are supposed to do the rescues if there is any eventuality at sea. And it becomes very dangerous for them to be left aside without being moved to their destinations of work. So we will, in the morning, first of all, is to pick them from Banjul and drop them to Bara, so we get prepared for anything that may come down the line. But we are optimistic that nothing will happen. And if it happens, it will be taken care of. So I want to assure the general public, the level of preparedness of the fire services is at the highest level. We would not compromise anything that is going to lead to a disaster at sea.
Okay, I was going to ask, more on the safety side of things, because you just mentioned that, of course, there's nothing to worry about. So is it safe to say, now that the ferries are not operating as we speak, anyone who wants to travel maybe from Banjul to Bara or from Bara to Banjul can safely use the boats without anything to worry about?
Can you come back again, please?
Yeah, I was just saying, talking about the safety of the transport, or should I say the crossing of the river between Banjul and Bara. Is it safe to say, as we speak, that your men are on the ground and anyone who wants to cross from Banjul to Bara or from Bara to Banjul can safely use the boats without anything to worry?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, anyone using the boat from Bara to Banjul, because our men will be situated in the Bara end, while the Navy officers will be situated in the Banjul end. But at any of these extremes, you are safe to travel, because we will be making sure that law and order is maintained. The law and order that is going to be maintained is enforcing the rules and regulations that is stipulated towards the saving of the people who uses the river.
What are some of these rules, if you may please help us? Can you take us through some of the regulations that you have outlined that would be maintained during this time? Because we are talking about a 1 month period.
Yeah, I have mentioned them already. Let me repeat them again. Maybe you didn't understand. Number one, I said, you have a lot of boats that have been parked aside. Probably they've never been used for a long time.
Yeah.
And when the ferries are grounded for one reason or the other, you will see a lot of people with their boats that they are old, never been used, thrown away. They will try to recover them back and then use them. And that is going to compromise safety. So we will make sure that only boats that have been registered, that have been flying the sea within this period, even before the grounding of the ferry, are supposed to be the one that we'll be using for the meantime. And if a boat is not registered, remember, every boat that is using the sea has been registered. So you cannot use your boat to do the services if your boat is not registered. By getting your boat registered is by making sure that all the necessary compositions are in order. Number one, life jacket. Number two, the boat there must be a usable boat, a boat that can fly the sea. And we will make sure that the capacity of every boat, if a boat is to carry 10, I'm just giving an example, the boat will only carry 10 and nothing more than 10. And if the boat is supposed to be carrying only goods, like for example, rice, sugar, and so on and so forth, we will make sure that the boat carries only rice, sugar, or whatever. And if the boat is supposed to carry a human being, that is passengers, then the boat is supposed to carry only. So I am optimistic with these regulations. If we maintain them, and I am sure we are going to enforce these regulations to the latter, there will be no problem at sea. Inshallah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, maybe just finally, of course, let's talk about support now. PRO, have you received any support as of now that could maybe help you do your job conveniently, as you may want, as you highlight in your statement just right now? Have you received any kind of support from the authorities, or maybe from GPA, who were mainly, of course, helping people to conveniently cross between Banjul and Bara? And how does the collaboration also work between you, the two institutions as well?
We have a national task force, and that national task force, its mandate is to make a national task force at sea. It is a combination of all the sister forces in collaboration with JOB. A series of consultations have been done within this period, with regards to this problem that is being foreseen at the sea, because it's just our level of preparedness. So the GMA, the Gambia Port Authority, the Navy, the fire services, and the government of the Gambia have unanimously agreed that we should put plans together. And that's what I was revealing to you. All these things I've said here, mobility, regulations, and everything is as a result of a concerted effort from this institution or these stakeholders that I've just mentioned here to make sure that lives are safe and property is being protected. So there is collaboration, there is cooperation, and there is the willingness to make sure that we do not compromise with quality and safety at sea.
Well, we wish you a very good luck ahead. And PRO Pate Jiba of the Gambia Fire and Rescue Services, thank you very much for your time and for speaking to us this morning.
Thank you for having me on your show.
All right. That was the PRO of the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service, of course, putting straight on some of the measures that are taken already ahead of the, should I say, not closure, but then suspended of the ferry operations between Banjul and Barra to renovate the ferry terminals, because it has been a long time that this kind of renovation have not taken place in that, place or terminal. Some of us who normally applies through that, there are a lot of struggle, but hopefully when everything is done, things will be much better, and we hope so. We wish them every good luck ahead of the work that starts today. Now, of course, in a moment we should take a break and bring you the newspaper review, but just pour ma leeral rek balaa ñoo dem mooy comme ni ngeen ko déggee noonu ci ñaari PRO ñu yoree kaddu port ak tamit fire and rescue services mooy fire services comme ñu bëri ñu ngi ko gën a xamee ne fu mu nekk nii comme port ñu ngi ko waxee dooree ko tey jile ferry yi du daw diggante Banjul ak Barra ndax dañu war a defaraat terminal si mooy ferry yi fu ñoo taxaw jafe-jafe amaana bari woon na ci taay ak yu mel noonu, waaye pour improve standard bi tamit liggéey bi gën a am solo moo tax ñu door pour defaraat loolu ci loolu nee nañ daal fu nekk ni boot si mooy gaal yi nga xamante ñooy daw diggante Banjul ak Barra ñoom ñooy dal di yóbbu nit ñi, waaye tamit duñ leen bàyyi ñoom ñu def comme ni ñu ko daan defee dañ leen di gunge ci ay bagage ay jumtukaay ak yu mel noonu pour gis ne tamit liggéey bi jaar na yoon, waaye nit ñi tamit nañ ci jaar ci li nga xamante ne mooy lu wóor, fekk daal am nañ yaakaar ne jafe-jafe du ci am wala du ci bari ci nuñ ko waxee ñoom ñaar yëpp loolu lañ daal di wax ci seen kàddu ga di ko dégëral bu baax baax ñu am tamit yaakaar ne nit ñi tamit ñi nga xamante ne surtout ñu dekkee waa boori Barra North Bank bi saa la mun a wax nañ ci gën a bàyyi xel bu baax baax ànd ak ñoom xam ne ci benn weer bi nga xamante ne moom la mooy ñëw yëf yi noonu lay tëddee ci nuñ ko waxee.